Hello, everyone. My name is Tavian Roberts, and this is my religious pluralism video essay. My topic for today is Oakland, which is actually my hometown. I was born and raised here, and so I've been here about almost 20 years now. It's kind of like the convivencia that we studied here in class. It's mixed in with a lot of intersecting faiths from Christianity to Islam, Judaism, and even Buddhism and other Eastern religions. And to start off with a brief history, um, in the 19th century, Christian denominations dominated early Oakland, reflecting the mostly European American settler population. But African American religious institutions grew significantly during the Great Migration era. Black churches like the Allen Temple and a Baptist church became spiritual community anchors. Uh, Jewish communities also were established with synagogues and cultural institutions popping up, particularly in the Temescal and North Oakland areas. Asian immigrants, specifically Chinese and Japanese, introduced Buddhism, Taoism, and Shinto, even though their religious practices were often marginalized due to discriminatory laws. Post World War II, civil rights and anti war activism uh, kind of intermixed with spirituality. Uh, it fueled interest in interfaith dialogue and alternative religions, such as the Brothers of Islam and the Black Panthers. Religious pluralism flourished, including growth in Hindu temples, Sikh gurdwaras, Buddhist centers, synagogues, mosques, and other new religious movements. Oakland has also become a center for progressive Christian churches and interfaith coalitions addressing social justice like homelessness and police reform. Now, personally, my experience as someone who grew up in Oakland, uh, growing up, I had a lot of friends from other religions. It never really seemed like something that was strange to me. Um, both my family was, Christian, used to be Mormon, and I often had friends that were Muslim or Jewish, and uh, being born post 9/11, of course, there was racial and religious tensions across the country. Uh, but in order to combat this, uh, it's kind of a phenomenon I've noticed that more liberal-minded spaces, like cities in the Bay Area especially, tried to adopt this sort of diversity celebrating mindset as a way of combating the discrimination people were facing by sort of teaching children to see diversity as a good thing. And I feel like it really helped me, especially with my development. Uh, Learning to not treat people a certain way just because of their religion, and just because they're different than me doesn't mean that they're lesser or strange or foreign. And especially in middle and high school, I have a lot of memories of being in social science classes and learning about all these religions that I had no idea even existed until that point, like Baha'i, which is a sort of new religious movement that popped up uh, during the 19th century. Now, in terms of the people that live there, 94% of people in Oakland identify with religion, with over 400 different congregations. These congregations have a lot of diversity as well, such as, you know, Christianity and Islam and Judaism, but also, more niche religions within the Oakland sphere, such as Buddhism and Shintoism. Uh, Catholics are the most common form of religion in Alameda and Contra Costa, um, with about 2.8 million region wide, which is about 20% of the population. Oakland is also home to a lot of mosques, synagogues, and Buddhist temples, Hindu centers, Sikh gurdwaras, Baha'i communities, and other places of worship. And I always grew up just seeing these places, and sometimes I would go inside, but it always amazed me just how many of them there really are. I mean, something you almost don't even notice until you're actually looking for it, but they're very all over the place. This is a quote from my father when I asked him about what it was like moving to Oakland and seeing all the religious diversity here. Um, Back when he was a kid, he used to be a Mormon, but then they left the church because of a few complications. And back then, he says that he didn't really see too many people of other religions that much. Uh, he didn't really have any Muslim friends, or if he had Jewish friends, he feels like he didn't really know. We never really talked about it, but um, yeah, he lived more in a Christian dominated area, especially more Christian than this area. And, it really opened his worldview. It expanded, what he thought and how he treated other people. There are, you know, these are some of the places of worship that I mentioned before. The Cathedral Christ the Light is one of my favorites. It is a very beautifully built building, and I actually sung in choir there back when I was in Pacific Boy Choir Academy. We used to go around to different places and sing, and many of those places were places like, mosques and churches and synagogues and all that. Beth Jacob Congregation is also a nice place. The 31st Street Islamic Center is something I've passed quite a couple of times. It's actually kind of near where I used to go to school. And the Oakland Baha'i Center is another one that I haven't really seen as much, but it's definitely a very interesting religion that I actually looked into since starting this. And it's more focused on community and, love. And it actually has a prophet, similarly to Islam. And in conclusion, Oakland's religious landscape is a vivid reflection of its broader cultural identity. It's diverse, dynamic, and rooted in history and progress. From its early Christian foundations and the flourishing of black churches during the Great Migration to the establishment of Buddhist temples, mosques, and interfaith movements, Oakland has evolved into one of the most religiously pluralistic cities in the United States. Thank you. This is a photo of when I went to Italy